On Global News tonight, Senate commences work on Electoral Act 2022. Sustainable Development Goals Office holds two-day brainstorming retreat. Schools in just the Plateau State capital move to cover compressed syllable. And on the foreign scene, Ethiopia cancels passenger flight amid fears of conflict. Details in just a moment. Good evening, I'm glad to have you join us on Global News this evening. My name is Vina Adams. The news is coming to you live from our Rayfield studio. Now the news in details. The Senate has commenced consideration of the Electoral Act 2022 Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2026, moving into a closed-door session to review documents submitted by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Electoral Matters, Senator Simon Lalong. The closed session was convened to allow lawmakers to thoroughly examine the proposed amendments and supporting documents before engaging in further legislative debate on the bill. This development comes after the upper chamber deferred consideration of the bill on Wednesday, giving lawmakers time to prepare for a detailed review. Although the House of Representatives has already passed the bill, Senate President Senator Godswill Akpabio underscored the need for thorough scrutiny given the bill's implications for the nation's electoral process. According to the committee's findings, a clause-by-clause analysis of the bill indicates that enacting the legislation would leave Nigerians with an enduring legacy of electoral integrity, enhance transparency, and boost public confidence. The committee recommended that the Senate consider and pass the Electoral Act, Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025 as amended, noting that the reforms will expand voter participation, safeguard against electoral fraud, and strengthen INEC's institutional capacity. In a bid to strengthen coordination, accountability, and effective reporting on development goals, the Plateau State Office of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) has organized a two-day management retreat held at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies (NIPS) Kuru. Our correspondent reports that the retreat was themed "Breaking Silence for Sustainable Development in Plateau State." The report.
The two-day retreat is designed to deepen understanding of Nigeria's commitment to the sustainable development goals and responsibilities of states in achieving set targets, particularly through the voluntary national reviews process. Speaking during the opening session, the Plateau State SDGs coordinator, Nanbam Danjuma Lot, said the retreat is expected to improve ethical leadership, accountability, and transparency while building institutional capacity for effective SDGs delivery. She emphasized the need for stronger collaboration amongst MDAs to ensure accurate reporting and meaningful contributions to Nigeria's SDGs.
The overall purpose of this retreat is to realign with government policies and make sure that the SDG goals are interlocked with the government policies and programs, all the government policies and programs.
In a presentation, a resource person, Associate Professor with Annan University, Dagwam Dang, highlighted the importance of governance ethics and institutional development at the sub-national level.
We have a strategic document, a strategic framework of government, 4 years, but I don't think that SDGs have been considered. So it's a gap, it's a serious gap. And you see that MDs are working in silos. So they need to harness and have a synergy within their work.
Participants are expected to leave the retreat with clear takeaways on coordinated planning, improved reporting mechanisms, and practical strategies for aligning state policies with national and global SDGs targets. In Jos, I am Janet Asut.
Primary and secondary schools in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have put security measures in place to ensure the safety of pupils and students as schools resume for the new term. However, some schools have also organized extra lessons to help cover the compressed syllabus for the final term following disruptions occasioned by insecurity last year. Our correspondent, who visited several schools across the metropolis, reports that school authorities are adopting different strategies to safeguard lives while ensuring effective teaching and learning.
It will be recalled that the federal government had issued a directive to primary and secondary schools nationwide to close earlier following insecurity experienced in 2025. A visit to some primary and secondary schools in Jos, the Plateau State capital, including Plateau Private School Jos, Obasanjo Model School Holshebi, Rochas Foundation College Jos, Government Secondary School Top Refuel, and St. George's Primary School, Rayfield Top, shows pupils, students actively participating in academic activities. Some of the head teachers and principals of the schools say they are working tirelessly to ensure effective teaching in order to balance the collapsed syllabus for the last term.
During our stay at home, we were able to cover everything online. The only thing left was examinations. So as soon as we came in, we wrote the exams. So we don't have any backlog of scheme left. We've already taken off for second term, and by the grace of God, we'll conclude it even though the term is short.
Because of the lapses for last term, we want to cover the syllabus, so we organize extra lesson for them. We'll be closing by 2, so that it will enable us to cover the syllabus since the term is short.
And part of the measures that we took immediately we resume, we sensitize the students on the need to be our own guards. We have to guard ourselves. Our lives are very precious. So we sensitize them that wherever they see any strange face within the environment, they should alert management.
The school timetable and the calendar will change. Before we used to close 1, and because we have not met up with the syllabus, they added 1 hour for us. So the school we are closing 1 o'clock.
Some of them also disclosed that pupils and students have been sensitized on the importance of security, with emphasis on remaining within school premises at all times to ensure their safety. They express optimism that the combined measures of improved security and extra lessons will help stabilize the academic calendar and enhance learning outcomes for the term. In Jos, Nerot Ram.
Still on education matters, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has stated that candidates who are already enrolled in tertiary institutions may register for the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination and direct entry, but must formally declare their matriculation status. Otherwise, they risk losing both admissions. The clarification was contained in a statement issued by the board's public communications advisor, Fabian Benjamin, who said the directive had been misrepresented by individuals he described as self-styled education advocates, leading to confusion among candidates and parents. He noted that such misinterpretations often emerge at the start of every registration cycle, accusing some commentators of spreading false narratives without properly understanding the guidelines. Benjamin stressed that registering for UTME or DE while still enrolled in another institution is not prohibited, but failing to disclose that status is considered an offense under JAMB regulations. According to Benjamin, the policy has become more critical following discoveries that some already matriculated students have been involved in examination malpractice as hired test takers, while noting that JAMB systems are capable of dictating previous matriculation records. He warned that candidates who fail to make the required disclosure could forfeit both their existing admission and any new one obtained through the examination process. JAMB also reiterated its commitment to safeguarding the integrity of its examinations. The board had earlier announced that registration for the 2026 UTME began on January 26, adding that only computer-based test centers with facilities that allow remote monitoring would be permitted to participate. It said the policy tagged "No Vision, No Registration, No UTME" is aimed at reducing registering irregularities and strengthening confidence in the examination process. Plateau State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Nicholas Bamlong, has expressed confidence that Governor Caleb Mutfwang's administration is poised to produce outstanding nurses who will enhance healthcare delivery in the state hospitals. Bamlong made this known while launching the state's Florence Nightingale Essay competition. Correspondent Simon Swatke has the details as presented in our studio.
The competition was organized by the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria in partnership with the Plateau State Ministry of Health to select representatives for the upcoming North Central Zone Florence Nightingale's Essay competition. The tertiary health institutions participating in the State Florence Nightingale Essay competition are the Plateau State College of Nursing Sciences VOM, Jibape Memorial College of Nursing Jingir, Ola College of Nursing Sciences Jos, Plateau State University Bokos, Hill College of Nursing Sciences and Florence Nightingale Refi Jos. While declaring the competition open, the State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Nicholas Bamlong, said the competition is a testament to the commitment of the young minds to the noble profession of nursing. The Commissioner paid tribute to the founder of modern nursing, Florence Nightingale, whose pioneering work continues to inspire generations of health professionals.
This is the new dawn, not only in the nursing profession, but a new dawn in the health sector, particularly for us in Plateau State. So this kind of activity, bringing students to compete among themselves, is a demonstration of the excellence we want to see in the nursing and midwifery profession. Florence Nightingale, like we all know, was tagged the mother of modern nursing. And modern nursing encompasses not only our dressing in white.
Provost, Plateau State College of Nursing Sciences VOM, Sambo Danlami, praised the participants for their dedication to excellence, noting that their essays reflect their passion for nursing and vision for a healthier society.
The best two will be selected, and these two will represent the state at the zonal level. We are also expecting that the best from the North Central Zone will be selected to represent the zone at the national level. So we have had the preliminaries at the state level, and we're hoping that the best of all the three representatives from all the colleges and departments will emerge, and that those two will represent us at the zonal level.
Earlier, Director of Nursing Services Plateau State, Tongshine Chinke, stated that participants are expected to show academic depth, originality, and professional insight linking Nightingale's legacy to modern nursing and midwifery practices.
To the theme, advancing nursing excellence through evidence-based practice and compassionate leadership reflection on the Nightingale's enduring vision. Promote academic writing, research, and effective communication in nursing, and enhance leadership, innovation, and advocacy for quality nursing and midwifery practice in Nigeria.
goodwill messages were received from the Plateau State chairperson of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Priscilla Dabit, and the provost of Jipape Memorial College of Nursing, Jingir, Tangan Inusa. At the time of filing this report, the panel of judges comprising representatives from the participating institutions were still deliberating on the winners of the Florence Nightingale's essay competition.
Still ahead on global news, ECWA reiterates commitment to peace building and conflict mitigation. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. The president of the Evangelical Church Winning All, Reverend Job Bagat, says ECWA under his watch is committed to prayers, peace building, advocacy, and practical support for the affected communities during crisis. Reverend Bagat made this known during a press conference at his office at ECWA headquarters in Jos. Correspondent Simon Swatka was there, and his report continued from our studio.
Briefing journalists, the president of the Evangelical Church Winning All, ECWA, Reverend Job Bagat, acknowledged the federal government's renewed efforts and the eventual deployment of security units in the affected communities.
We particularly condemn the persistent and targeted attacks against clergy and the general populace, which represent an assault on the fundamental rights to life, worship, and security as enshrined in the Constitution of Nigeria. ECWA itself has suffered grievously from these national crises. Our pastors, church workers, and members across multiple states have endured violent attacks, kidnapping, displacement, and loss of life. A climate of fear has been instilled in many of our communities, forcing families to abandon their homes and livelihoods.
The ECWA president urged the federal government, state and local government to strengthen intelligence gathering and early warning systems, ensure swift, effective responses to threats, particularly in vulnerable rural communities, prosecute perpetrators and their sponsors swiftly and transparently, as well as providing adequate protection for places of worship.
Numerous ECWA district church councils remain under severe threat, including those in Katari and Gidanwaya, Kaduna State, Katsina South, Katsina State, Pategi, Omu Aran, and Orago, Kogi, Ibaja, Kwara, Gwal and Mango Plateau, and Shiroro, Niger States. Security responses must be proactive, sustained, intelligence-driven, and preventive.
He said ECWA stands in solidarity with all victims of insecurity and extended the church's deepest prayers and pastoral support to the families of the adopted and those living in fear. He called on traditional rulers, community leaders, and citizens to foster unity, shared vigilance, and peaceful coexistence.
Two non-governmental organizations, Sentinel Oasis for Love and Care Initiative, SOLSI, and J-Town Ambassadors Foundation, JTA, have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote peace building, youth empowerment, and community development in Jos. Their partnership is aimed at strengthening civil society collaboration and addressing social and environmental challenges across communities. Our correspondent has the details.
The Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony between Sentinel Oasis of Love and Care Initiative, SOLSI, and J-Town Ambassadors Foundation, JTA, two non-governmental organizations, took place at the J-Town Ambassadors Foundation Secretariat, Ibrahim Taiwo Road, Jos. Speaking on behalf of the J-Town Ambassadors Foundation, a member of the Board of Trustees, Oji Onazi, narrated that the organization was established in 2019 by individuals raised in Jos and inspired by the city's culture of peace, unity, and diversity. She explained that J-Town Ambassadors promotes peace and social cohesion through youth empowerment, support for vulnerable groups, and community activities such as peace football initiatives.
Because our sole aim was just to ensure that there was peace, love, and to push the fact that we don't joke with this unity in diversity. Because if you say people are diverse, but there's unity, it seems odd, but it's workable. And so when you see us members of JTA, we come from diverse backgrounds.
The trustee and executive director of Sentinel Oasis for Love and Care Initiative, Harun Audu, said Sulchi's mission is to equip young people for servant leadership through faith, integrity, and service. Harun announced a 10-week cleanup initiative involving 60 youth selected from 10 wards of Jos North local government area to be implemented in collaboration with the Plateau Environmental Protection and Sanitation Agency, PEPSA, and J-Town Ambassadors, hence the need for the MOU.
To elevate sanitation as a valuable, visible civic value through the platforms that JTA is offering us through this partnership, and strengthen collaboration between community groups.
Communication Officer of PEPSA, Godwin Moses, assured of the agency's readiness to collaborate with the organizations to ensure the success of the initiative. The event concluded with the exchange of signed documents and a joint commitment to peace building, youth engagement, and sustainable community development in Plateau State. In Jos, I am Shama Kigam.
Now, the Christian Association of Nigeria in the 19 northern states and the FCT, with support from Barnabas Aid Foundation, have distributed food items worth millions of naira to displaced victims of attacks in Bokos and Mangu local government areas. Chairman of CAN in the 19 northern states and the FCT, Reverend Joseph Hayab, while making the presentation, called on the government to take concrete measures to safeguard lives and ensure return of internally displaced victims to their ancestral homes. Our correspondent tells us more.
Victims of attacks that benefited from the food items are hundreds of internally displaced households taking refuge at St. Thomas Catholic Church, Bokos, and that of Ekwa Bishara 1 in Mangu Town, Mangu local government area. Presenting the items on behalf of the Barnabas Aid Foundation USA to the victims separately, Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the 19 northern states and the FCT, Reverend Joseph Hayab, said they share in their pain, stressing that the gesture is a demonstration of love and compassion to the displaced persons. While commiserating with the victims, Hayab explained that 1,000 displaced households each in 5 states affected by violent conflict would benefit from the intervention.
4 in the north and 1 in the south. Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, Ondo, and Borno State. We have done that of Kaduna, Ondo, and Benue. Today we are in Plateau State, and after Plateau we shall be moving to the last state.
Parish priest of St. Thomas Catholic Church, Bokos, Reverend Father Paul Watpe, said over 9,000 victims are currently taking refuge at the church, while Reverend Gideon Dawell, who lost his pregnant wife and 5 children during the 2023 Christmas attack on Bon community in Bokos, among others, appreciated the Northern CAN and Barnabas Aid Foundation for their assistance.
I am so excited beyond what I can say, because we never expect that. Seeing these things, like trying to tell me that yes, somebody outside there remembers you. It's like there's somebody who is thinking about the afflicted and the neglected.
May God opens a mighty door for the help of others.
Items distributed to each of the households include 25 kilogram bags of rice, maize, beans and gari, vegetable and palm oil, as well as salt, sugar and seasoning, among others. I am Gokop Timothy.
The base commander, 55 Nigerian Air Force Station Jos, Air Commodore Friday Bassey, has charged secondary school students to rise as ambassadors of peace and discipline, stressing that young people remain critical to ending recurring conflicts on the plateau. Air Commodore Bassey stated this during a joint peace-building program organized by the 55 Air Force Central MOX in collaboration with the Kandinant Olaika Foundation for Peace, aimed at preventing social vices and promoting unity among students. Details of the report is continued from our studio.
The Peace Building Initiative brought together selected secondary school students drawn from Air Force Military School, Air Force Girls Military School, Kings and Queens Academy, Rochas Foundation International College, and Tawhid Secondary School. The program was designed to instill moral values, discipline, tolerance, and a culture of peaceful coexistence while positioning students as agents of peace within their schools and host communities. Base Commander 551 NAV Station Jos, Air Commodore Friday Bassey, represented by Flight Lieutenant Tijani Grema, said the initiative could help reduce tension, discourage negative social behaviors, and foster unity and tranquility on the plateau by empowering young people to reject violence and embrace dialogue.
This workshop is particularly significant because it focuses on students at a critical stage, resolving conflicts non-violently through education and driving positive social change.
The first paper presenter, pharmacist Marcus Kandi, who spoke on students as catalysts for promoting peace in society, asked students to leverage education, tolerance, and forgiveness as tools for peace.
Fostering inclusive communities and building sustainable harmony for the future. We interact in one way or the other. There is no way you...
Professor Yusuf Adele Yusuf of the University of Jos, while speaking on the effects of bullying among secondary school students, stressed that bullying often leads to low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and poor academic concentration among victims.
Education is a sacred duty for personal and cultural growth. Bullying disrupts this by creating fear instead of nurturing a mind in the learning space.
Participants commended the organizers for the initiative, describing it as timely and impactful, while calling for sustained engagement to nurture a peaceful and disciplined generation.
And on the foreign scene, passengers' flights between Ethiopia's capital Addis Ababa and cities in the northern Tigray region have been cancelled amid fears of a return to conflict, with reports of clashes in one area. Ethiopia Airlines, which operates all routes in the country, sent passengers a text message about the cancellation, citing unplanned circumstances. Neither the airline nor the government has commented further. Airport staff in Tigray's main city of Mekelle have reportedly been told not to go to work. Our 2022 peace deal to end a brutal civil war in Tigray has been unraveling as tensions grow over disputed territory and ahead of June's elections. There are reports of clashes between the Federal Army and Tigray fighters in Maidugusha, a contested area of Selamti district in western Tigray. During the conflict, forces from the neighboring Amhara region occupied the fertile area of western Tigray, which remains a source of dispute. Now, the government has said it will be settled through a referendum, but around 1 million people fled that area during the war and remain in poor conditions in makeshift camps throughout Tigray, and it is not clear whether they will get a vote. Sources also report new military movement in southern Tigray, raising concerns of renewed conflict. Well, and that's it on the news, or less for the recap. We brought you a report that the Senate has commenced consideration of the Electoral Act 2022, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2026, moving into a closed-door session to review documents submitted by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Electoral Matters, Senator Simon Lalong. The closed session was convened to allow lawmakers to thoroughly examine the proposed amendments and supporting documents before engaging in further legislative debate on the bill. Now, in a bid to strengthen coordination, accountability, and effective reporting on development goals, the Plateau State Office of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) has organized a 2-day management retreat held at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies (NIPS) Kuru. Most primary and secondary schools in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have put security measures in place to ensure the safety of pupils and students as schools resume for the new term. However, some schools have also organized extra lessons to help cover the compressed syllabus for the final term, following disruptions occasioned by insecurity last year. And on the foreign scene, we brought you a report that passengers' flights between Ethiopia's capital Addis Ababa and cities in the northern Tigray region have been cancelled amid fears of a return to conflict. With reports of clashes in one area, Ethiopia Airlines, which operates all routes in the country, sent passengers a text message about the cancellation, citing unplanned circumstances. Now that's the end of the bulletin at this hour, but remember, there is news update at 10. But before then, enjoy the rest of our programs. From me, stay peaceful and positive.